What is good, homies? It's Chris from Small Hat Crew, joined today by Small Hat Nick.
Hello.
Small Hat Manny.
Yo.
And Small Hat Brandon.
I knew I was going to be last. Yep.
Well, I was going to make you second, but I moved you to the back because I knew you were going to say that.
I knew it.
Yeah, self-fulfilling prophecy.
I
so
knew
we have
you knew.
two new leaders. Neither of them, from my perspective at least, look bad. So that's starting off at a great start. Anything before we jump into this one, boys, or can we go right into it?
I'm ready.
All right, so we're going to start off with Nico Robin finally getting a leader. It took 8 sets.
9. This is
9 sets for Robin to finally get a leader. That makes
10 sets because one of them is EBO 1, so 10 sets.
That shit makes literally no sense. Sanji got 3 leaders before Robin got 1.
10 sets, 20 starter decks.
Nico Robin, purple yellow leader, 4 life, 5,000 power, strike, Straw Hat Pirates, banish. And when attacking, you may trash 1 card with a trigger from your hand, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck, and set it as rusted. I think she's a good leader. It's hard to say whether or not she's going to be meta, because who knows what power creep looks like, and what they do with red purple law, if they do anything. I think that's the main tipping point. Go for it.
I do have some strong thoughts on this leader.
I do too.
Yeah, so first of all, banish on a leader is great.
Yeah.
But we also saw the same with Yamato, where we're like, oh my god, it's game breaking.
So
but
the game is
kind of, the game is kind of at a point where it's kind of okay to have one strong keyword like that on the leader. The problem I have 2 problems with this leader.
What?
It's the Dawn comes out rested, so it's already kind of like not as strong as other ramp that we already have in the game. And it's also competing with a very strong yellow-purple leader that has access to 10-drop Big Mom, and I mean the best
Pudding,
cards
yes,
of the yellow.
Pudding.
I thought you were talking about Lakers crop.
I thought so too.
No,
is it now, really?
She's
I thought you're on that
competing
cope
with
still.
Pudding. So I
Pudding
think,
also brings it out rested.
yes, but Pudding also has that access to like 10-drop Mama, and you don't have to discard a card. And that's why I think this leader has to get some bomb-ass support, because it doesn't have any generically good purple or yellow cards, because it's a Straw Hat Pirates tag, if that makes sense.
So I have 2 main thoughts regarding this card. One of them kind of touching on the Yamato thing. I think the comparison between Yamato and Robin is night and day. I know people will go like, so I did a stream recently. All the real ones that watch the streams, you already know what I'm going to say, because I went on a whole spiel about it for like 10 minutes. But banish and double attack are night and day. Literally,
Absolutely.
Yamato on turn 2, swinging 8, pretty much you give your opponent 3 choices. Either they dump their hand, they dump 2 2Ks to stop the attack, or actually, if they have a blocker, they have the potential to just block it, or they can just take it to go +2 in card advantage. That is an option. That is an option that most decks like, even decks like Gecko Mori, which were favored into Yamato. A lot of deck strategies was to just take the first attack to have the 2 extra cards to play the rest of the game out, to out advantage her and outvalue her and just kill her, because she kind of cut your life in half and she sped the game up like tremendously, but it was a very glass cannon type of like strategy. Whereas
Absolutely.
Banish does not. Banish removes the option of just taking the hit. Literally, you either dump your hand to stop the banish, or you just lose the life, and that is it. There is no Yamato, I'm just gonna take it and get 2 cards. You literally say, I take the hit, I'm playing down a life for the rest of the game. Not to mention, Yamato, just depending on how far ahead in the game, you can just take an attack card to get the 2 extra cards and stuff like that. Literally with Robin, even if she's just poking 5 throughout the duration of the game, she's always requiring you to drop a card.
It's always required to counter. Exactly.
You always have to drop a card.
I do agree.
There's never.
I do agree.
Yeah, there's never a point where you just take the hit for the extra card. Robin is always demanding that you're going to drop a card out of your hand. Her effect is basically discard 1 every turn. And that's just if she swings with the bare minimum 5. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
The her when attacking trash effect, I don't think it's all that crazy. It's all right. I think you'll probably use it once to put yourself on a specific curve.
Yeah.
And that's probably, maybe if you have another ramp effect, maybe you'll use it twice in a game. But realistically, I think that's an effect you probably use like 1 time. You're on a specific curve, and for the rest of the game, all that really matters is the banish. And that's just kind of it. She is
yeah.
I don't know. You want to weigh in, Manny or Nick?
So how I kind of feel about this card, exactly what you're saying, is with the banish, where it's like Whereas like the banish demands respect.
Yes.
Even if she didn't have a second effect, the banish is still demanding respect off the card. The second effect I think is just kind of like the icing on the cake, where it's like, if I could ramp, I'll do it. If I don't, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The other thing I was kind of thinking about is I think One Piece is getting to a point where they're trying to make specific leaders for certain matchups, because you know how we have the new, and I'm not saying it's a good leader, but like the I think it's the new Black Luffy that increases the level of all of your characters, because that's obviously meant to help counteract Black.
Right.
I view this card as counteracting Yellow.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, you know those triggers that everyone's been mad about? I'm gonna get rid of these triggers.
Yes.
But and then it's like, oh no, like don't touch my triggers. No, I'm gonna get rid of these triggers. I have a character. I have a leader that no matter what, your trigger means nothing to me.
Yeah. On top of that, like, because she has banish, so because you know a lot of leaders have the whole strategy of like, I'm gonna play starve, I'm just not gonna swing at you until I'm ready to, you know, go ahead and try to push game on you or whatever.
Yeah.
She can play starve while swinging at you and eating resources from you at the same time. You know, like a lot of decks will go, I'm gonna pivot, I'm gonna go for your board and make you discard. If you don't have anything for me to swing at, I just won't attack you. Robin goes, I'm going to go face. Yeah, Robin,
I just hate that they gave banish to Yellow again.
I was gonna say, and also because like when Manny's talking about like the Luffy is a Black leader made to counter Black. This is a Yellow leader made to counter Yellow.
Yellow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I think those are two very go for it.
Well, my last thoughts on it. I don't want anyone in the comments saying like, "Oh, Brandon said it's a shit leader." No, banish, I believe, is going to be the strongest keyword that a leader can have.
I agree.
Because that's just hands down. Like you said, double attack has its faults, absolutely. Right. Banish has no faults. Like banish is just insane. Still, it is competing with a very tough deck, so I am very interested to see the support that she gets. And I'm interested to see this leader put Yellow in its place.
I do think it actually, you know what you can do with this, with these colors?
Cry.
So hear me out. Now correct me if I'm wrong. The purple Straw Hat Searcher, does it say it only searches purple straw hats or just straw hats?
Purple.
So we're gonna work this through. Okay. So scratch the first part.
I don't know actually.
We had a whole discussion about it. So
okay. Drop Luffy kind of goes
we had
hard
a discussion that the 7-drop Luffy only plays purple straw hats.
No, that was not the discussion. Discussion was about playing like Nami to grab the, I think was it Zoro, but Zoro can't grab Nami, so I don't care for it.
Okay. So
it's just
okay. Well, my point is that because you have yellow straw hats, and if we do get away in this support to search out the straw hats, whether it's a yellow card that says it or we get a new purple card that says so, what you could do is you could play like the big Luffy into the yellow Luffys. Like mostly
like the baby Luffy?
The baby Luffy into the new cost 5, and you play Hiyori. And then it's one of those things where you could do the combo to bring out the Eggman Luffy. Do that. Your Robin's now 7k, and you're going 7k to the face, and then on top of that, you're 7k defensively. It's just something I just thought of right now. Like, oh yeah, it is a straw hat. If there was,
oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No. I was gonna say if we get a universal searcher in those two colors by this, that's something I think I would play with.
Yeah, because I remember when the Zoro, I'm pretty sure the searcher, I think it was Zoro if I remember correctly. I think it was 4/6, no counter searcher. Because I remember like having that whole discussion about like he only had a few good targets. Like he could grab 10-drop Luffy, and there wasn't much more outside of that.
I'm reading it right now. He only does grab purple.
Yeah, I remember.
I feel like 10-drop purple Luffy might go ham in this deck. But also, I just personally hope that the babies are not used in this, because I think after a few sets of yellow Black Luffy, everyone's kind of sick of seeing those cards.
A few things worth mentioning.
I know I am. Yeah.
So, she does have the Miss All Sunday hat, yet she's not All Sunday. She's just Robin. There's no Baroque work stack on her whatsoever, so she's not competing with Purple Crocodile.
Well, she's flicking it off. She's like, I'm done.
No, she's actually putting it on.
What?
Yeah, she's
doing a backflip into it.
No, she's like summoning it to her head. She's summoning it to her head.
Okay, that makes sense. You're right.
Yeah. So that is because one thing I did fear was I thought they'd give her the Baroque Works tag, and then that would mean now with 2 yellow Baroque Works leaders, we'd get yellow Baroque Works cards that Purple Crocodile couldn't play, and that was obviously going to be a big no-no. So I
Of
see that's
course.
not happening.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick, I don't think we heard your thoughts on it though. What
Yeah,
what
not
you thinking?
haven't.
I mean, the only thing I don't like about this leader is honestly the color combination. I'm kind
Fair.
of unhappy that the answer to yellow is yellow. I do understand
Same.
that they've done that previously with like the answer to black is black, but they really haven't done that for other colors, in my opinion. Like,
But I feel like black and yellow are the biggest,
They're the
for
problematic
lack of a
colors.
better word, gripes.
Yeah.
They
They're
shouldn't
the-
counter themselves though. That's why they're the biggest problem colors.
Yeah, because literally it says if yellow's a problem, if I want to play it, I have to play yellow still. So yellow will
Yes.
still be a problem.
Yeah. That's my biggest gripe. I kind of wish she was like a mono 5 life leader, to be honest with you.
I would love that.
Do you think she's
Just
only yellow
not yellow.
purple because her outfit is yellow purple?
Of course, you figured it
Oh,
out.
fucking Bondi. God damn it.
Bro, that's what it kind of looks like to me. But yeah, I don't. It's just one of those things. She's very like good on paper. She has her strengths and everything, but like the landscape of One Piece changes so much. We had OP08 come out with 3 very strong leaders. None of them saw, and none of them were meta because a leader like Red Purple Law, like a new card pull came out, it buffed a pre-existing leader, and then he made sure none of the other new leaders saw play.
Whoa! I think Lucci is running.
No, we're talking about
OP08.
Oh, 8. My bad. You're
Yeah. OP08 gave us Pudding, Marco, King, and none of them are meta. None of them ended up being meta because the support that came out in that set pushed Law over the edge and made all of them unplayable. So the only way they see play is if Law gets hit. And who knows what comes out alongside this leader in her set that could potentially do the same thing, repeat history, buff a pre-existing leader, and maybe she doesn't see play. Not to mention she also like
Purple
seems
Luffy.
good, but she doesn't seem insane. And again, there's no way to know like what the power creep, because her effect just kind of seems like a control. I do like that her color combination is one half of it is ramp and the other is ramping into the color that has the best top end in the game. So at least there is a synergy there. But like I don't know, there isn't anything like outside of her controlling with Banish. She doesn't really have a leader ability once she is on curve. And you know like all the leaders that are good at this, like just currently, you know, like Lucci's cost reducing to control board and stuff like that. Law's controlling board as well and cheating out bodies. Perona's controlling board. Anel's whole thing is just controlling the game through leader ability. She doesn't really have a leader ability that impacts the game in that way outside of her poking throughout the game. So I don't know. It's hard to say whether or not she'll be meta. It's hard to even guess as to whether she'd be meta. But like I could see her being like a B tier leader. If that happened, it would not surprise me. Like if she wasn't crazy strong.
I see that.
Any final thoughts before we move on?
No.
I'm excited for the alternate art.
So am I. All right, next leader we have Monkey D. Luffy, purple, black, 4 life, 5,000 power, strike, Yonko, Straw Hat Pirates. Dawn ×1. Your characters have 1 cost. This is both players'
Game
turns. That confused a lot of people when I was streaming. This is both players' turns. And during your turn, once per turn, when 2 or more Dawn cards are returned to your Dawn deck from play, set up to 1 from your Dawn deck as active, and set the other one as rested. So
This
pretty
is
much
literally meant for 10 drop. This is
Luffy.
literally meant that 10 drop Luffy will always pop off 100% of the time.
Kind of. Because you got to think about it. You're returning 10, you're getting 2 back, and then you
You get
don't
one
get
off of-
leader ability. Yeah, you get 1 off of him, you go to 3, 5 next turn, but then you don't get leader ability again like you do with the red purple Luffy.
well, so I do think one thing worth noting is that
It's not bad.
like the turn he does 10 drop Luffy, he immediately goes to 3 Dawn that turn, and then you know he takes a second turn, he's already back on 6.
Yeah, he goes
6
back to
with-
6.
Yeah,
on the
that's
next
not
turn.
bad.
He's on 6 the turn right after. That's
I do like how he has
think he'll be sharp.
defense against black also.
Yeah, the +1
Yes.
cost is really nice.
I think it's really, really good, yeah.
I think he'll be okay
Yeah.
with the current card pool. I don't see him being insane, but I do see him being okay.
Yeah, he's so people have been talking about interactions like using like Guilt to Sorrow with him. Again, don't really know where the game will be at that point. Like
slow.
if the power play is sticking a body on the board, that has no effect the turn it comes out. If the game's at a point where it doesn't stick, then that's not all that great. The best thing I've heard of with him is Top Knot, because that basically becomes a 1 cost event that bottoms up 4, I think.
Sorry, what the
Yeah.
fuck does Top Knot do?
Minus
I've never
2
heard of this
Dawn.
card.
Yeah, it's -2 Dawn, bottom of 4.
It's a 2-cost event.
We had the
Two
minus
cost
2
event
Dawn.
on
So
your
it costs
turn,
1 in him basically.
-2 Dawn. Okay, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's a 1-cost event. The bottom's a 4 in this leader, so that's actually pretty.
Damn.
That's probably the strongest thing. And not to mention, he
That
is
is
also
really
half
bad.
black, so he can lower things into that range. It's like Hound Blaze that hits 4 higher or 2 higher. But he doesn't
Yeah.
bump or anything. But yeah, I don't know. So how do you feel like he compares to like a leader like Black Purple King?
I feel like the biggest thing, like the tell on this, is him being black purple. We have the black straw hats from that one structure from
Yeah,
second Black Luffy starter deck.
right.
And then we have purple yellow Robin. So we're probably getting more purple straw hats this set, which is wild
makes
because they just did a
sense.
whole starter deck for them and gave them essentially nothing.
Yeah, that could be why
That
though.
does make sense, though.
If his whole win con, just based off of the current card pool, it does seem like it probably will be 10-drop Luffy since nobody does it better than him. Going back to 6 extra is fucking insane. And they did print the Zoro for him to search out the Luffy. So, I mean, it looks like he might be going Straw Hat. I don't think the black Straw Hats really do anything for him, in all honesty. The purple Straw Hats are also pretty mid, so he's going to live and die strictly by what is printed in OP08, it kind of looks like.
09, but yeah.
Or yeah, 09, OP09. It's kind of dictate whether or not this leader's... But I think another thing is, like, the reason I asked the question previously is because, you know, Black Purple King is a leader that looks really good, but then it just can't compete with Red Purple Law. So if Red Purple Law does get hit, this leader's direct competition is King. And, like, I don't know. Between those two, who do you think the better leader
And Zephyr.
is?
I wanted to
Yeah,
see
and Zephyr, for sure.
Yeah.
Of course.
You also gotta. This dude makes a really good use of like the 6-drop Sanji, the 6-drop purple Sanji. I feel.
The Manish
Black
one?
No, the blocker.
well, that you can pay for
Oh,
3 dollars.
Sanji. I was thinking Zoro.
Yeah, for 3 Dawn. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like both of these leaders, like you said, are gonna live and die by the purple straw hats that we see in set 9. That's just it, really.
Yeah, I agree. Or of course I agree, 'cause I said it, but
Yeah, right. I agree with my own statement.
Yeah.
No, because his ability, he does have kind of like a more unique leader ability, but he
Yeah.
also has one of those where it's like almost wanting to do, and it's failed almost every single time. Well, he has 2 very different leader abilities where people are like, man, 2 leader abilities on one card, that's great. But then you look at cards
Isho.
like Isho that has 2 leader abilities, both sound good in theory, but they don't mash well and they're just whatever.
well, I think realistically, I don't think his effects have to synergize with each other because one of them is just kind of blanket protection for the most part. You don't really, it doesn't look like you lean into it or anything. It's just something
Isho
that's
was the
convenient
same.
to have. What's his blanket protection?
Well, he had kind of like a blanket ability, just the like
Isho
Dawn times
had,
1
like,
-1
2
to everything.
He had 2 different effects that leaned into 2 different playstyles. One was cost reduction and the other was restanding. Whereas this guy's just, his whole thing's just, I'm playing my
Plus
game
four
and all my
recon.
guys just happen to be 1 bigger. You know?
Yeah. Well, his blanket protection was being able to like swing with a blocker and then restand it. And in theory, it sounds great. Like, oh man, my Borsalinos are now attackers. It just didn't really do anything to have 2 very separate leader abilities.
Because I feel
I
like
don't
this
know.
is a
We'll
leader
see.
where even if he didn't have the first effect, he'd be the same leader. It's just his guys are a little harder to remove. But I think the reason he will come down to OP09 support is because his leader ability, his real leader ability, because like the Dawn times 1, it's kind of whatever. It's just nice to have.
Yeah.
This leader ability only has like 3 cards in the game that synergize with it currently, so it really will just come down to what they print for him.
Absolutely.
Don't forget about
His-
Black Maria.
He will
What?
have access to Black Maria.
Black Maria returning the Dawn at the end of turn, you get the leader ability to
Oh,
ramp back.
I mean, I'm talking strictly about cards at -2 to activate their effects. There's barely any that currently exist. There's like Guilt Tesoro, there's Top Knot, there's like a bad Kaido that has Banish. Like,
Rush
there
Kaido's
aren't
good.
really any, so it's gonna come down to what they print in 09 that minuses too, because he doesn't have anything
Yeah.
right now. He has nothing.
Agreed.
Yeah. Anything you want to say about this, Manny or Nick?
Nah, that's pretty much all I have for it. It's one of those things where it's that
What?
the purple straw hats we have to me are kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
you're
The black
underwhelming.
straw hats are, I don't think they're great. So they just
They're
have to
not.
make a
Robin.
whole new like there's the black Sanji that I really like, right? Like that's the one that pops, even though he essentially just pops for free, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's the only one I really care for.
Same.
And then the purple ones are just kind of meh. So it's one of those things where it's like kind of how we said with the Robin. It depends what because they're coming out the same set. We're getting purple Straw Hat cards. I don't think we're getting yellow Straw Hat cards. We're just gonna get purple ones to fulfill both of these leaders. So it depends what happens there. That's my take.
It will also be interesting seeing a purple leader that basically says, "I just play on curve for the game." Because it looks like he's supposed to be able to play cards and remain on curve for the entirety of the game while having an extra Dawn. He's basically doing the Luffy thing of having an extra Dawn to play with.
So you're saying Luffy is doing the Luffy thing? Wow, very original, Chris.
Yeah, like literally, this is like basically an 11 Dawn leader. Because not only does he stay on curve, then he restands an extra Dawn every single turn he uses that ability.
That is fair. And cards that have a -2 Dawn ability, like that event, for example, are usually a lot stronger than their actual Dawn cost.
Yeah, I also do like that. This is a leader, so because he is purple, he's able to ramp into bigger bodies faster. And it does kind of look like the black Straw Hats, at least, that they were printing up to this point, were like, if you control bigger bodies, then you get bonus effects. And if there was ever a color that was going to expedite that, it was going to be purple. Purple's the color that puts the black 8-drop on your board faster or whatever. Or the 8-drop, because it doesn't have to be black. But yeah, it's kind of it for that one. Anything you want to say about this one, Nick, before we close it out?
Why does this boy look so goofy? The regular art.
Because he's a cartoon character manifested.
They all are.
Well, but like his powers become
No, I know.
luminous.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, it doesn't seem like there's much more that is going to be said regarding these leaders. So, until next time, we will see you guys.
Bye bye.
Boy.
Goodbye.